What's going on, guys? MariK here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the various vehicles that you can use in Star Wars Battlefront. The game features everything from speeders to tanks to walkers to even starfighters. In this particular video, we're going to be taking a look at the vehicles for the Confederacy of Independent Systems. My favorite vehicle for the droids is easily their most recognizable, which is the AAT tank from Episode 1, and I believe we see him in Episode 2 as well. It looks like a tank. The way the vehicle was designed, it is exactly what I think of when I think of a tank in Star Wars. And its main cannon, just like the Walker, is extremely powerful. You just don't have, again, you don't have a secondary fire. There's no missiles like we have on the Republic tank or on the Rebel tank. But it's still pretty powerful. It still serves its purpose. You can switch to the giant cannon on top, and this thing shoots really awkwardly. I mean, it's powerful. It does, oh, damn, sniped. It does good damage, but it's really hard to control because it's really swivelly. And the only reason we're even landing our shots as well as we are right now is because whoever was in our tank in the secondary position is no longer in it. Damn. While it is definitely not equivalent to the Empire and the Republic's walkers, the droids also get the Spider Walker tank, which is really weird. It's really freaking slow, and it feels like you don't have a lot of control over it because of the way it walks. The primary fire is this giant laser that, I mean, you can get kills with it. It's not that it's that terrible, but you do have to land your shots with it, and you've kind of got to. It's like the sniper, the award sniper in Battlefront 2, and you've just got to keep the laser on your target at all times. Your secondary fire fires these little laser cannons, but holy crap, this thing is just not great. And I don't recommend using this thing over any other vehicle option. The Hailfire droid is certainly a different option than the Spider Walker. I don't even know if I would say it is a better option. Your blaster cannon is kind of iffy on how well it works. You do have a shit ton of the purple missiles that we saw them fire off near the end of the Attack of the Clones, but it's just kind of like, where are these missiles going? I don't even know. Like, you can run over clones easier with this tank than you can just shooting them, and that is a really sad thing to consider. Because of the splash damage with the cannon, though, if you do shoot them at a pretty close and personal distance, then the splash damage alone is enough to kill them. But it honestly feels like you'd just be better off just trying to run them over. Of course, because of the nature of this vehicle, it is really easily to get caught up on pretty much anything on the map. So it does feel like the Hailfire droid does decently well against the ATE, but I don't honestly know what's controlling the missiles. I really don't have a clue. Not to mention, because it is on wheels, which most things in Star Wars don't have wheels, and they don't have wheels for this purpose. So, as you just saw, again, running over the enemy is actually not a bad strategy. Running into a rock definitely is. In place of the speeder bike that the Empire and the Republic uses, the droids have their Stap speeder from the first movie, and it's alright. It's really floaty and it's really weird. But I do like the level of control you have over it compared to the speeder bike. It doesn't look as cool, even though it does look cool. It doesn't look as cool. We can blame Return of the Jedi for that, because the speeder bikes in Return of the Jedi just look so damn awesome. You do have a more control, which I like. I like that I can just kind of hover around in whatever direction I want. But I do believe that also makes it slower. but being able to land your hits as easily as I'm landing them now with this little speeder bike, or with this little speeder bike equivalent, is pretty substantial, I think. I don't ever use the speeder bikes or the speeder bike options, but this is definitely a pretty solid one. This is a great vehicle, I think. It may not be the best, and a rocket or a well-placed headshot is definitely going to take your ass out, but oh shit. Conveniently, we spawned right here, and while technically not a Trade Federation or a CIS ship, the Geonosian fighter is available. It does spawn in this hangar that is off the Spire command post for the Confederacy. It's something. Oh, I don't know what I just killed. I thought I was shooting a clone, but I got a -1, so that's a negative, Ghost Rider. Yep, its weapon sucks. It doesn't do shit. And I mean, you can fly it around. It's kind of fast. It's kind of cool, but yeah, it's pretty fucking useless. When it comes to aerial craft actually meant for the Confederacy, we have the Trade Federation starfighters we saw from Attack of the Clones. They're cool. I liked this design. I actually liked the design when they were the brownish design that we had in Attack of the Clones. Not Attack of the Clones. Phantom Menace. I was getting my movie titles so mixed up. I knew what I meant. You knew what I meant. Well, let's leave it at that. I don't know. They just... The grayish design that they had, I think it was like the Banking Clan or something, that was in Revenge of the Sith, I wasn't as big of a fan of. This functions just like the TIE Fighter does, as I said before. The Republic and the Rebels get missile launchers, and the droids and the Empire, for some reason, didn't get that memo. So, you just got the blaster cannons, which, is kind of a downside, but I don't know. For some reason, as much as I almost prefer flying in the first game, because you can also do ground stuff in the same match, or even shoot at players and bots on the ground. It's just not as fun up here either, because there's just not a lot to do. I mean, sure, you can do dogfights, and it's neat, but for the most part, it's not the greatest experience, and it's not what you would expect from getting to fly around in fighters. Similar to the Republic, since the droids did not yet have a starfighter bomber design, they didn't really have a ship design to go off of for the droids. While, like as you see right there, the Republic was given the LAAT gunship. The clones, or the droids, have their own gunship right here, which is exclusive to, I believe, Battlefront 1 and 2, and that's it. I don't think this ship design has ever been in any other form of media. It's not super great. It has missiles. They will lock on, sort of. Ships will also just crash into you. Now, it does have the same hover mechanic, so we don't have to worry about it auto going on us, which is kind of nice. The blaster shot's okay. The missiles are fine when you can get them to actually lock on. The secondary position gives you lasers just like the clone gunship, which is kind of interesting. And then you've got this rear blaster cannon for another position. But none of them are really great, and they don't feel anywhere near as nice as flying the LAAT. So that's going to be it for our tutorial and explanation on the various vehicles used by the Confederacy. The droids have really weird vehicles that they don't work well to me. Outside of the AAT tank, which is the one that I prefer. It's one of my favorite tank designs, and it's easily the best vehicle utilized by the droids. The Spider Droid Walker is it's slow, it's cumbersome, it just doesn't do well. You can use it to, get some kills on infantry. It does do decently well against the ATTE, but I think you're going to lose that battle every single time. The Hailfire Droid is interesting. Wheels in Star Wars just don't work well, especially on Geonosis, but you can run over clones, so that's a thing. The missiles just seem to go wherever they want, which doesn't help you at all. The Stab Speeder is actually really good, and I will use that. I will recommend using that one. I just definitely don't recommend the speeder bikes. At least this one, you've got better control over the speeder's movement and a better vantage point to be able to use the cannons on the speeder effectively. Overall, it's just a better experience than using the speeder bike. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection comes out in just 2 weeks, so we hope to see you on the Battlefront.